This broadcast is copywritten by the SAGU Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the SAGU Sports Network consent is prohibited.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Lumpkin Stadium, where it is homecoming Saturday as your SAGU Lions take on from Fort Worth the Texas Wesleyan University Rams. Hi everybody, I'm Tim Roberts alongside my partner here, Matt Williams, former SAGU player himself. And Matt, there's no game quite like homecoming, is there?
No, there's no game like homecoming. You have a lot of alumni coming in from out of town. And then, you know, we were spoiled there for a minute. You had two back-to-back home games, and they took a week hiatus. They traveled out to Batesville, Arkansas to face Lion. You know, they're coming off a loss, so it's going to be a good game, high energy. I'm looking forward to it.
And with the report on that high energy, let's go down to our silent reporter, Kristen Urban. Kristen, what's it like down there?
Thanks, Tim. I'm down here at the tailgate party with the students, and we are hyped and we are ready for what looks to be a great game. Temperatures are looking to stay in the mid-to-upper 60s. It's a beautiful day for football. We've seen rain this entire week, but luckily field conditions are going to be pretty dry today. Now that's all I have for you down here. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Kristen. Now, Matt, you mentioned that tough loss last week, essentially a buzzer-beating field goal. Lions lose 37-34 to Lion. Special teams were the story. SAGU essentially leaving 7 points on the board on missed kicks from the typically sure-footed Tulong Hamung. You had a kickoff return for a touchdown, some bad punting. Just nothing seemed to go right on there. How does the team recover after having that three-game win streak snapped?
You have to get back to the fundamentals. You have to get back to the discipline. I talked with defensive coordinator Jared Hudgens, and he said, you know, they had a lot of bonehead mistakes in critical moments, the punts, the missed field goals. And as you see, a lot of people like to overlook special teams, but special teams is just as important as offense, just as important as defense. And so you just have to get back to the fundamentals, be disciplined, and play your heart out.
Now, obviously, they've got a new game here today, a chance to reestablish that. Give me some of your keys for SAGU coming off of this tough loss. What are the three things they need to do to pull off this homecoming Saturday win?
Well, first and foremost, this is land of the free, home of the Bledsoe. And this is in all of SAGU's wins, except for one, when Stephon Free, running back, and running back Michael Bledsoe combined for 100-plus yards, SAGU came away with the win. And what this does when you accumulate over 100 yards on the ground is it opens up the offense. It keeps the defense respecting the run game and the pass game. And anytime you have a defense that has to think about both and, then you have C.J. Collins doing his thing, slinging a rock.
And he had a great game last week. Even with the loss, he was dominant. What's your second key?
Second key, we'd go to the Purple People Eaters. This is not to be misconstrued with the 1960s Minnesota Vikings defensive line. This is your SAGU Lions defense. They've been monstrous all season. They've caused 23 turnovers. They average 3.3 a game, and they're led by true freshman defensive back Christian Cross, who leads the NAIA in the interceptions.
He has 6. He leads the NAIA. He hasn't had one for the last 2 weeks. That's how big his lead is. What's your final key today?
Spread the wealth. We know Samuel Northey is a threat on offense. We know Jeremy Carr is a threat on offense. But each time that they accumulate 75 yards receiving, SAGU is always won. They're 4 for 4 each time Jeremy Carr and Samuel Northey have 75 yards receiving.
And sometimes Northey has 75 yards on a single reception, so it can happen fast. Now, on the other side, with Texas Wesleyan, again, second-year program, had their first win on the field all-time earlier this year, so they're still looking for that first really signature win. And for me, their first key, they got to keep it 400, okay? They are actually one of the worst defenses in the NAIA, giving up over 500 yards a game, ranking towards the very back of that. If they can keep that SAGU offense more where SAGU usually stays, right around the 400-yard area, they have a chance of staying in this one. If it turns into a super track meet and SAGU's putting up half 1,000 yards, I'm not sure the Rams can stay in this one.
I definitely think if the Rams can keep it 400, as you said, their defense actually averages 2.2 turnovers a game. So as long as they can cause turnovers and keep this powerful SAGU offense off the field, I think they have a shot.
Now, second key goes on the offensive side. I'm saying 30 and 50. Texas Wesleyan has only crossed the 30-point barrier twice this year, and that was one of their wins. I think they have to have 30 points with 10 minutes left, 30 points with time to spare, and they can do it. This SAGU defense has, while they've been great at turnovers, they haven't exactly been locked down at points. They haven't held any opponent under 23 points on the season, and 6 of their 7 opponents have scored 28 or more. So teams are scoring right around 30, and that needs to be Texas Wesleyan's goal, but not 30 in garbage time, not 30 putting in that touchdown with 2 seconds left. I feel like they need 10 minutes left on the clock at 30 points. to win what I think is going to be a shootout here today.
Exactly, because when you have 10 minutes left, that's essentially an entire quarter. And if you have 30 points going in, then either you're beating SAGU or you're neck and neck with SAGU. And again, that will help them tremendously.
And last key, we already mentioned win special teams. That's how Lyon pulled the upset last week. They really got outmatched in certain other areas. They got outgained by SAGU by a pretty significant margin, but they dominated that third phase of the game. Texas Wesleyan has some weapons. We'll talk about one of those weapons here in a second. If they can find a way to, pull that upset the way what Lyon did, great field position, make a couple of big plays, block a kick, whatever you got to do, win that third phase, and you got a shot here to ruin a beautiful Saturday for the Lions.
Exactly. That third phase, the special teams, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back for SAGU last week. And coming into this week, as long as TW can capitalize on these field goals, we can see it go the mile.
So there's your keys. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we get back, run down some of the key players here in this one. Welcome back. And now, Matt, it's time to talk about the guys who are going to execute the game plan. Give me some of SAGU's key players.
First and foremost, I'm starting with linebacker Landon Jones. He's a defensive captain. He leads the team in tackles. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about Landon is Dad played 7 years in the NFL. And not only did he play in the NFL, he coached him all throughout high school. And Landon's older brother plays linebacker at Baylor University. So not only is he a high IQ, high athlete, defensive football is in this guy's lineage. And one thing that I love about this guy is he has grit, he has tenacity, he plays reckless, and he has abandonment. Yet he also keeps that discipline. So it's kind of like a controlled chaos. So be looking forward to having this linebacker all over the field today.
I wonder what their backyard football at Thanksgiving is like in the Jones family with those two guys. Nobody wants to play quarterback. They just want to blitz. Second guy.
Yeah, second, we go on to Keiondre Belcher. The dude leads the team in tackles for a loss. I talked to defensive coordinator Jared Hudgens about this kid, and he said ever since he set foot on the turf that he's been monstrous for this defense. One thing that he does is he takes on double teams, and a lot of people think, hey, he's the best guy, you're going to double team him. That's true. However, he's able to manhandle both, allowing his fellow defensive linemen and also his linebackers to come in the gaps to shoot on those twist blitz packages.
And that's exactly what I was just thinking about him. There's so many plays where he doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but he's the reason a play gets made. He has to be that guy that has to be the focus. He's getting guys out of the pocket early. He's making the running back take a different lane. He really is influencing every play, even if he's not getting a tackle to show for it. Who's your last guy? It's a pretty easy choice, I feel like.
It's pretty easy. CJ Collins, he has been a beacon of hope for this SAGU offense all season long. He averages 300-plus passing yards per game, and he leads the conference in passing yards. And one thing that stands out upon everything is this guy's leadership ability. Not only does he have the offense bought in, he has the defense, the special teams, and most impressively, he has the coaching staff completely sold out to him and believing in him. And one thing that Coach Ryan does with CJ is he gives him full helm at the line of scrimmage. So look forward to see CJ make some checks and go with what he sees.
One of his last 2 home games of all time, and he's put together a stellar senior year. A lot to be proud about.
Yes.
And, he needs to be at his best if they're going to find a way to win these last 3 games. Now, on the Texas Wesleyan side, first guy, I mentioned him a little bit ago, cornerback Diamond Williams. But I'm not talking about his defensive play. I'm talking about his special teams threat. He is number 3 in the NAIA in punt return yard average, around over 20 yards a punt return. He's also a dangerous kick returner. Like I said, they're going to need a big play or two. And when every time SAGU punts or kicks off, go ahead and be on the edge of your seat because Diamond Williams, he has the ability to take it back. Second, Chijoke Iwagu, he's number 3 in the NAIA in tackles for a loss per game, 2.2. We're just talking about Belcher. Well, here's another guy that can get through and really bring to it and find a way to get back there, throw SAGU for a loss. If they can get him behind the chains, and you mentioned earlier with what Bledsoe and Free mean when they can get over 100 yards. If he can be putting them behind the chains, that'll change the way they go through the entire game. Last, and I'm going all defense here because like I was saying earlier, I think this defense needs to have their best game of the season to find a way to pull this upset. Jalen King, he's got 3 picks on the season, just half of what Christian Cross has, but that's exactly what you need today. You need him to get a pick or 2. Anybody, really, but that's the guy you're going to be watching. He's going to be back there with Diamond Williams. He'll be those 2 corners. So keep an eye on those guys to make a big game-changing play to find a way to get Texas Wesleyan really their first signature win as a team. They're in their second year as a program. Like I said, they got their first official win this year on the field against Texas College. And you know, with the long rivalry these two teams have in really in every sport, basketball, volleyball, softball, soccer, now we've got the 287 rivalry in football. And you know that Texas Wesleyan wants to go get this win, especially after SAGU beat them pretty sound the last year.
Yes, sir. They need to go get a 287 road sign and see which one want to battle out for it.
Well, what's Waxahachie Innes doing with theirs right now? We can just borrow it for a game, right? Yeah, of course, it's 287 north, not the south route, so we got to get a different one. Now, of course, every week I've got to give you my number of the game, my numerology number of the game. And this week, it's a pretty interesting number for you that we're going to throw at you. The number for the day is 255 204 0. Now, what am I talking about? Well, that is the official color code of a referee's flag. You talk about a conference's identity. You think SEC defense, you think Big 12 offense, you think Pac-12 disappointing football after midnight. The Sooner Athletic Conference in its first year has established itself as the most penalized conference in the NAIA. 6 of the 20 top penalized teams in the NAIA are Sooner teams, and you got 2 of them right here today. Texas Wesleyan number 8, averaging 98 yards a game. SAGU's number 10, averaging 96.4 yards a game. That's another thing that was killer last week. It wasn't just special teams. SAGU had 9 penalties for 111 yards. That was a negative 82 ratio against Lyon, who's one of the few teams in the Sooner that's not ranked in the top 20 in penalties. They gave Lyon 3 free first downs through penalties. That's just poor timing, too. When you have 9 penalties and 33% of them give Lyon a fresh set of downs, that's just devastating. But again, both these teams struggle with it. And this is not the kind of game where anybody can afford to be putting up 95, 100 yards of penalties. And the whole conference, they got to figure it out. You don't want your conference to be known as the sloppy conference with holds and pass interference calls. So for the moment, though, the key for both teams need to be to keep that 255-204-0 hued flag off the field in this beautiful Saturday here in Waxahachie. Well, we're getting pretty close to game time here. I want to ask you one last question. Obviously, SAGU, they had a slim shot to win the Sooner Athletic Conference. That probably got dashed last week up in Arkansas. How do the guys recover? How do they get back out there and say, let's finish strong? Let's go get these last 3 wins, even though our chances of getting that outside shot at the conference title. How do you rally yourself back up and go out and give that 100% effort here on the field today?
Well, for the seniors, this is their last go-round. So they need to put everything that they've worked their entire lives for into this game and into the final games of this season. And as an underclassman, you need to be working for the people that paved the road before you. CJ, Jeremy Carr, Samuel Northey. These are the guys that you look up to, and these are the guys that have paved the way and helped change the SAGU program. So you really have to just think about them, get outside of yourself, and really put them on your back.
And they really have changed the program. They're going for their 5th win today. A decade ago, that was almost done. That was unheard of around here, getting a 5th win. So you almost never want to forget where you've come from. They got a chance to establish at least a 500 season and really move towards another winning season here. Well, we're just moments away from the national anthem and kickoff here at Lumpkin Stadium. Be sure and follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date to all the latest SAGU sports news. Obviously, volleyball, soccer, football, basketball is coming up pretty soon. And for those of you here at the stadium, like us on Facebook and click the link at the top of the page so you can watch live as well. Here, Matt and I's call of the game. We give you all the latest stats and updates, information on the ball game. So be sure and, again, like our Facebook, click the link at the top of the page. Well, we'll be back here in just a moment with kickoff of Homecoming Saturday as your Lions take on the Rams from Texas Wesleyan. We'll be right back.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of
Kicking off on the lines to Rolfe. Diamond Williams on the return, tackled by Eric Berry. Now first down and 10 Rams.
On first down. So you've got an all freshman backfield now with Taylor and Jamar Moya.
Ball at the 37-yard line after a solid return by Diamond Williams. Handoff up the middle. And that's going to be running back Desmond Nisby picking up 11 yards on first down. So quick start for Texas Wesleyan out of the gate.
Yeah, that's very good. As you see, Nisby, he is 6'2", 226 pounds, and he has good leverage running through the hole.
It's hard to bring a guy like that down. So back in the shotgun, Nisby off to his left. Donovan Isom at quarterback. 3 men down at the bottom of your screen, 1 up top. Tight man-to-man coverage up top. Handoffs, Nisby again up the middle. He's breaking a tackle. He's down the middle. He has no one to beat. He is going to walk into the end zone. Check that. It's not Nisby. That is Devontae Mitchell-Dixon. And just like that, Texas Wesleyan, 2 plays, 2 handoffs up the middle. Strike fast here. Homecoming Saturday, and they spoiled the start, that's for sure. On for the extra point will be Cade Dixon as the Rams stun the Lions out of the gate.
It was 46 seconds.
46 seconds, and again, just 2 apparently harmless handoffs up the middle using their 2-back set. And he walked into the end zone at the end there. Kick appears to be tipped, but it's going to be up and good. So less than a minute into this one, Texas Wesleyan, they started with a solid kick return from the dangerous returnman Diamond Williams. Then 2 handoffs, span the length of the field, touchdown. That was fast.
Yeah, that was a great play call because they saw that SAGU was in a man defense. As you see here, it spread the field, and that allowed Mitchell-Dixon to just split up the field and use that speed to break away.
Yeah, and you see right there, he had a kind of a one-on-one situation there with the 2 men sitting back, and just not enough speed to keep up with them. So the Lions get put on their heels early in this one, down 7-0, and that's exactly the start you wanted to draw up if you were the Rams, coming in here with just 1 win on the season, trying to pull an upset. There's nothing like going on the road and trying to ruin homecoming, and you just saw them, flex what they can do very quickly, and they want to be able to score like that in this game.
It's imperative that they score early and often.
So now the Lions, 2 men back to return. As always, you're going to have Samuel Northey and Dakota Gilly. Northey, of course, equally dangerous as Diamond Williams, so 2 very dangerous return men in this one. Kicking off will be Greg Blazer. Northey set up at around the 2-yard line with Dakota Gilly at the 5. Kick is going to be a short one. Fair catch called for and hauled in by Stefan Free at the 28-yard line thereabouts. So you see Texas Wesleyan immediately kind of say, no, we're not going to give Northey. They are kicking into a pretty strong wind right now as well. So no, we're not going to give Northey that chance.
You definitely don't want to. You want to keep the ball out of athletes' hands as much as possible. But they're giving it to C.J. Collins right now, so let's see what he can get going.
Yeah, C.J. Collins steps onto the field with Stefan Free in the backfield in the pistol formation. 2 men stacked to the bottom of your screen. Moving to his right is Free. Northey goes in motion. And it's going to be an end around. Oh, it's going to be a little trickery here. Wide open, streaking down the field. Blaine Rowe's pointing for a block. He has it. He's going to go into the end zone. There is a flag on the play. We will wait for the call. At the moment, it is a trick play touchdown pass. We will wait and see what it is. And that's going to strike me as in the territory of maybe an illegal motion or not having the men set. You need to have set in the right position.
Offsides, defense.
Oh!
Penalty decline, result of the play, touchdown.
So it's an off, so the play will stand. I was worried that with a man in motion, sometimes you end up with, not having the guy set in the right position, but it works out. So the flea flicker touchdown pass from Sam Northey to Blaine Rowe, 77 yards. And if you showed up late to this one, well, 1 minute late to this one, you've missed 2 touchdowns. On to the get for the field goal is Talong Hamung. TH is up and good, and we are knotted. 1:14 in this one. Break down this play right here. We haven't seen anything like this so far this year. It's an end around reversed flea flicker pass, and Northey's showing he can do it any other way. Kick return, running, catching. I think he now has touchdowns all 4 ways this year now. Special teams, running, catching, and throwing now.
There's nothing this kid can't do. I'm going to have to see if he can come over and paint my bedroom.
And that was just a perfectly drawn up play. You get Northey over there in the flat, and he's such a strong weapon too that the defense had to totally be ready for him, and that left Blaine Rowe wide open. And he did a good job of staying behind his blockers. So like I said, 1:14 into this one. 2 quick touchdowns. Rams and Lions are knotted up at 7.
Both of these offensive coordinators, they're pulling no punches this afternoon.
And you almost kind of feel like that might have been the for the Lions. Like, okay, we just went down 7-0. We've had this play in our playbook for a while. Let's go knot this back up and start this game back over. So back to return for the Rams will be Diamond Williams and David Allen. Again, Diamond Williams started the last drive off with a solid around 35-yard return. TH to kick it away. And this time he'll kick it short and away. That's going to bounce, and good job scooping it up. That is Diamond Williams again. He's going to break a tackle up to 30, out to the 37. So even when they tried to get away from him, didn't work to perfection. Williams does a good job getting to it. So the Rams come back onto the field with good field position, tied up at 7. Donovan Isom will step back in. And then does a good job of just finding that little gap right there.
You found the little crease, and he's a shifty, quick guy.
2 running backs in the backfield as Isom didn't have to throw a pass on the last drive, just a 2-play touchdown drive, both plays on the ground. Play action pass, just a little bit too high for his intended receiver. That was Brandon Rolfe. Led him a bit too much on that one. But immediately you see the play action pass after 2 run plays, trying to catch the Lions off guard. Shotgun, he goes up and adjusts the play. 4 men wide. And he's gonna be handed off again, and we got another free play here, rushing free. And this time it is Desmond Nisby again. So 3 runs for the Rams in this game, all of them just for huge chunk plays, and this is just another draw up the middle.
Definitely, they're liking to spread this defense wide so they can run it up the middle. That's one of the weaknesses in a 4-3 defense.
And Nisby will get it down to the 28-yard line. Play action pass back as Isom tipped up in the air and will fall harmlessly off to the right. That was dangerous. And who else coming in to bat that ball away? Number 90 for the Lions, Devontae Crownover.
Devontae Crownover is a true freshman, and ever since he stepped on the field as well, he's been making a lot of plays, and he did a good job there getting his hand in the passing lane.
Now, Donovan Isom will step out of the game, and coming into the game now, looks like they're almost having a wildcat formation with Collier Ricks, wide receiver, in the backfield. And that's a loose ball, and the Lions are on it.
Lions get it.
Lions are on it with the recovery. I believe it's going to be Sean Minshew, who's going to fall on the loose ball as the Rams try to show a little bit of a different look. And I don't know if I would have done that. That thing was working so well. They bring in a wide receiver for a little wildcat formation, and it just falls to the ground harmlessly. The Lions recover.
Sean Minshew, interesting fact that he played linebacker last season for the Lions, and they moved him to defensive end, and now here he is making plays.
Yeah, and just a good job of seeing the ball, clearing his man out of the way and diving on it, stopping what was a very promising drive for the Rams after another big run from Desmond Nisby. So now CJ, no setbacks, 5 men wide. Now he'll put a man in motion to his left. Handoff up the middle. Just for a few yards, Michael Bledsoe will fight forward for around 4. So we saw Stephon Free come out for the last drive, and now Bledsoe starts this one off.
Yeah, Bledsoe's coming in to tote the mail for the Lions, and that tandem between Bledsoe and Free, as long as, like I said early in pregame show, if they can accumulate 100+ on the ground, they can get this offense open.
Shotgun again 4 men wide. Now Free will step back in. Another man goes in motion for CJ. It is Northey. He's got him in the flat. Wide open in the middle is Jeremy Carr, and just a little bit too high. Carr's just going to run a picture-perfect post route. Northey in motion frees him up, but that's just a little bit too high for CJ.
Yeah, they see Northey go in motion, and immediately that safety drops to go try to get that, and that leaves Jeremy Carr wide open, and it just a tad bit too high for Jeremy.
Yeah, that was Diamond Williams who was assigned to Carr on that play, but he was spying Northey the whole way.
Yep.
And if that is on target, Carr might sprint that to the end zone. 3rd down and 6 now. CJ's going to float it out again, just a little bit too high. He had Stephon Free in the flat, but was unable to corral it in as it was just a little bit over his head.
And that was a good play call by Ryan Smith. You saw that they were just aggressive for Jeremy Carr the pass play, so they send Jeremy Carr on another post route. And Diamond Williams, he's not going to make the same mistake again, so he stays with Jeremy, leaving Bledsoe out open in the flat.
So the Lions will punt it away after the turnover gave them at the ball at the 34-yard line. And that is Diamond Williams back to return. Dangerous punt returner. Number 3 in the NAIA in yards per return. And it's going to be kicked off to his side. It's going to roll. He's just going to stay away from it, go out of bounds. About the 26-yard line.
And the SAGU defense is coming back out. And they really have to change the momentum because this Texas Wesleyan offense has been slicing and dicing them on the run game, so they're really going to have to load the box and get something going.
Yeah, and so far, both pass plays have not worked. So I think you might have to adjust your strategy a little bit here. Even though you're looking at 4 wide, again, they're trying to spread it out. Already you're seeing 3 linebackers set up at this point, and it looks like they're going to try to stay home on this one, even with 3 men up top. It's going to be a pass. He's got a man open, and he's wide open, breaking down the field. This is going to be an easy walk-in touchdown to number 6 for the Rams. That's Lamont Monroe. And just a little cross, almost kind of a slant route straight off of a play action. And they feel like they try to dial it up a few times on the last few drives. This time it works to perfection. You have the man up top, and he is just gone.
And that's one weakness in a 4-3 defense, especially when this team has been running the ball very well, that they know the defense is really eyeing the run, so they're able to manipulate the middle of the field and get a pass going.
It's Donovan Isom's first completion of the game, and it's a 74-yard touchdown pass. Extra point is up and good. So not even 3 minutes into this one, 3 huge touchdown plays already between these two teams and a turnover. So again, if you showed up 5 minutes late to this game, you have no clue what's going on or what you've missed. And you do love that play call after you establish the run. They tried it a couple of times the last few drives. That time they convert. You have the kind of running those slant routes up top, distraction, get your man open, and he's free to go.
Yeah, Texas Wesleyan is being emblematic of one of my keys for SAGU, to get the run game going so you can open up the pass. And this Texas Wesleyan offense has been running the ball very well at will against the SAGU defense. And then now SAGU is just continuously guessing on what Texas Wesleyan is going to do.
It does just change the whole way you have to approach the game. When they come out and immediately 3 of their first 4 runs go for big gains, 1 for a touchdown, it puts you on your heels a little bit. You start playing a little bit differently. And that time, like we said, we had those 3 linebackers. They were all staying at home. They were all waiting at home for the run. They were completely sold on the play action. That left a man wide open for the big touchdown pass to Lamont Monroe. And he kind of feels like your answer to Sam Northey out there. He's only 5'6". Northey's 5'8". He's 5'6". So we have a short guy battle going on. 2 big plays from both of them so far. Of course, Northey not not catching it like as usual. He's throwing it. So now to kick it away again will be Greg Blasser. Lions bring their return man up to the 10-yard line, trying to avoid letting it kicked away from him again. This time Blasser's going to put it almost over their heads. Northy's going to come field it around the 15. He's got a lane. He's down the field. He has to beat the kicker. The kicker's not to knock him out at the 49-yard line. And as soon as Northy caught that kickoff, you knew he had a shot. And Blasser, the kicker, has to do everything he can to get to the corner and shove him out at the Rams 48.
The kicker very well saved the touchdown right there. Samuel Northy is a threat to be reckoned with, and we saw his breakaway speed. He saw a slither of hope, and he attacked it.
Yeah, they said as soon as you saw that little gap emerge, you said you know he's getting through that gap. You know he's going to find a way through it. So now CJ will set up in the pistol formation, 3 men stacked at the bottom of the field at the Rams 47-yard line, down 14-7. Pitches it out to Free. He's got another blocker outside. He's going to dive forward. He's going to stay in bounds and pick up an extra 4 or 5 down to the 32-yard line is where they're going to mark him. So a quick pickup of 14 yards.
SAGU is giving Texas Wesleyan a dose of their own medicine. They're spreading out that defense, the defense that likes to play man, so they're going to get a one-on-one matchup. And so they know Stephon Free has a lot of quickness, and they give it to him on the outside.
When you have that going on, as long as people stick to their assignments, you know you're going to get a big gain. So now pistol formation. Now Free will step up to his right side. 3 men at the bottom of the screen. Play action pass. CJ's going to go underneath just a little bit too low for Northy. Good job staying at home there.
And CJ Collins recognized that Texas Wesleyan once again is in man defense. And they had a good flood concept going, but he just wasn't able to complete the pass.
Yeah, just a little bit too low. Solid coverage on the play by number 32 on the defense. 32 is also Desmond Nisby, so I'm not sure if it's the same guy. Not sure if we have a running back playing. Now Wesleyan's showing blitz. They're going to bring it, and they are going to wrap up the Lions for probably a 2-yard loss out to the 34-yard line.
And that's a good defensive scheme right there, is to bring some pressure on second down. And they got it in the backfield. And CJ, I'm actually surprised that he didn't see the pressure coming in and adjusted at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know if he thought maybe they were just showing blitz and they're going to drop back. But it does feel like these defenses are going to have to start bringing some different looks. The way the offenses are having success so far, the defenses can't just stay at home and let the offenses come to them. So now it's going to be 3rd and 12 at the 34-yard line. 4 men out. CJ in the pistol formation. Rolling out. He's going to throw it deep. Jeremy Carr is going to pull in an amazing catch in the end zone. What a catch from Jeremy Carr. He was getting bumped the whole way by Diamond Williams. CJ drops in a dime in the end zone, and on 3rd and 12, the Lions throw a 34-yard touchdown pass.
That's right there in the breadbasket. And I actually talked to Jeremy Carr earlier this week about what is your favorite defense to go against. He said he loves when they play man because it's one-on-one, and he said we're going to see who the bigger man is. And right there, he's showing who the bigger man is.
It almost felt like Jeremy Carr stopped up a little bit short to get the defender to stop short as well, and then took that final big step to clear himself away for the touchdown pass. Kick is up, and it is good. So the Lions knot it back up at 14. And catch the replay here. Again, CJ does a good job rolling out. Is just going to throw in a perfect pass. And it did feel like Carr stopped a little bit short, but then is able to make that adjustment on Diamond Williams to pull in the touchdown catch. So the big return from Northy sets the Lions up in good field position. CJ tosses his first touchdown pass of the game, and 10:42. Now here's a good question for you. Now, what is the highest scoring homecoming game in SAGU history? Because we're tied up at 14 apiece right now with 10:42 left in the first quarter. I'm going to warn you, it's a little bit of a trick question. A little bit of a trick question that we're looking at right here.
I played for the past 3 seasons, and I'm going to go with the 2016 homecoming game against Arizona Christian. I want to say Arizona Christian got a little bit over 50 points, if I remember correctly.
Well, we'll bring you that answer here later in the first quarter. Honestly, I know the answer, and it's a little bit of a trick question, but that literally the way this game's going so far, that record might be in jeopardy, and I even know what the trick answer is. So it is in a barn burner here early on, knotted up at 14 with 10:41 remaining in the first quarter. It definitely felt like this is the kind of game we could be seeing, though, between these two offenses. TH going to kick it short again. Fielded by the up man. He's just gonna, well, keep winding his way. He breaks a tackle. He's up to the 35-40, breaking free to the 42-44 yard line. That felt like it was dead at the 24, and he finds a way to pick up extra yardage up to the 42. This was a problem last week, and you almost thought this was a mistake at first. He should have let Diamond Williams get the ball, but does a good job of staying on his feet, just weaving in behind his blockers.
And this kickoff team is going to have to do a better job of wrapping up on initial contact.
It was such a big problem last week with field position. Lions' average starting field position last week was their own 41-yard line. Handoff out to the corner. He's got a little bit of room to work with and is going to get dragged down finally up to the 50-yard line.
And once again, they're going with what's not broken, is they're spreading this offense out, running to the outside. And Marco Matthews actually had good field position. He attacked the block and still had his outside arm and leg free. He just wasn't able to make the tackle.
Now it was Dixon on the run, so Dixon comes in for Nisby on this possession. 4 men wide now. Dixon off to the quarterback's right. Isom's going to keep it. No, he's going to hand it off, and the Lions for the first time sniff it out. Keiondre Belcher in on that tackle.
Keiondre Belcher, like I said, he creates pressure. He gets into that defensive backfield and got another tackle for loss.
And for the first time, they shut down a run and bring up a 3rd and 7. That's crucial right now because so far that's been Texas Wesleyan's bread and butter. So if you can bring up these 3rd and mid, 3rd and long situations, I don't feel too comfortable at 3rd and 2 right now. 3rd and 7, a different matter. 2 men in the backfield, 2 men up top. Isom in the pistol formation. He's going to step back and throw. He's got his man underneath. Oh, and it's dropped. Pass is dropped by number 29, Mark James.
And you see Coach Hudgens there switch it up. He goes to a Tampa 2 where he sinks his linebackers. And that actually was a good play by Texas Wesleyan. He just wasn't able to hold on to the ball.
If he's able to corral that in, he's going to have a one-on-one situation to try to break free for the first down. But instead, for the first time, Wesleyan will send their punt unit onto the field at their own 45-yard line. Back to punt is Greg Blaser. And, of course, Samuel Northey back to return, standing at his own 20-yard line. It's a solid punt. Northey's just going to set up and hope it goes into the end zone. It's going to roll. This is going to be a sprint, and Wesleyan gets on it. Sprinting down the field. I believe that's going to be number 41, Geary Jones, who's able to down it at the 3-yard line. So an excellent punt from Blaser. He's the one that saved the Northey touchdown in the last drive. Now he pins the Lions deep. And Northey, I don't think it's the wrong decision. The ball bounces to 7. You have a chance to get it there.
Yep.
But it is downed at the 3-yard line. So now CJ is going to set up and shotgun in his own end zone with 5 wide. Does bring a man in motion. He's going to pitch it underneath the Bledsoe. He's got a lane. Splits loose out to the 10. Breaks another tackle out to the 16-yard line.
That was a great play call, and I'm excited to see there that Bledsoe is starting to use his speed. He's starting to get comfortable running the ball, and he makes one man miss.
Yeah, made a man miss at around the 8 to get the Lions some breathing room up to the 16-yard line, first down. Collins back in pistol. Puts Bledsoe in motion. He's gonna fake the handoff. He's gonna go deep to Carr. Carr's wide open, holds it at the 50, and he's gonna go down to the 36-yard line. Tackle made by Jalen King, and we do have a flag on the play. Carr drops his head, which probably means he's expecting it to come back. We'll wait on the call. Otherwise, it would have been around a 35-yard pass.
Holding. Defense.
It's going to stand.
Please decline. Resolve the play. First down.
And that was good because I actually saw a little holding on Sammy. They were holding Samuel Northey going across the middle, as you see here. Just a tad bit of holding right there.
Just a little bit of a hold. Carr gets a lot of separation, catches it right at the 50. Just not quite enough bounce to keep it going, but he does get down to the 37-yard line on another big pass play between CJ and Carr. CJ takes the snap. He's going to pitch it out to Bledsoe, who's going to fight his way down to the 26-yard line. And so now the Lions offense is really clicking. drive that started on their 3, and 3 plays later, they're at the Rams 26.
And that's good. They're starting to, like I said, balance the pass and run. They're starting to get Bledsoe going, and Bledsoe's starting to, they're just swish free. And I was thinking Bledsoe's starting to get a hot hand and see if they're going to keep him in, but let's see what they do here.
Maybe just trying to keep the Rams on their off balance right now. So 5 men set out wide, free underneath. He's not going to go in motion this time. First time he doesn't. Plenty of time. Ball's going to be corralled in and caught. What a catch by Bryant Dotson. Able to get that 1 foot in bounds.
And that's a good pivot route by Dotson. He did that a couple weeks ago in the end zone. And it's very good because he's a good 6'4", he's long, and so he can reach out of bounds while still being in bounds to get that play.
Does look like he got the 1 foot in bounds. That's all you need. So now it's going to set up a 2nd and 1 at the 18-yard line. Back in the pistol, 3 men bunched at the top of your screen. Offside, free play for CJ. Oh, that would have been a great catch right there. Dotson trying to go over the top of his man, but it looks like it's going to be a free play and 5 free yards for the Lions.
It looked like a defensive lineman for the Rams jumped off sides in this free play. As you see here, this defensive end.
Yeah.
Offside, 43 the defense. 5-yard penalty, 8-yard results, and a first down.
That's going to be Chijoke Iwage, and like I mentioned pregame, he's one of the best players in the NAIA for getting those tackles for a loss. So you got to feel he's wanting to get that right there. Facing that 2nd and 1, trying to disrupt this Lions offense, get a big play. But it gives him a first down to the 13. Play action. He's going to go up for Dotson. Oh, Dotson trying to go one-handed.
Dotson almost, he was saying, hey, Odell Beckham, watch this.
He is isolation one-on-one coverage, gets his separation. And you know the problem was I don't think he had the right kind of gloves. That's what it was.
Yep.
Wasn't actually, it might have hit his ungloved hand. That's the real. Got to have those gloves. Got to get the sticky gloves. Make that catch. That's Odell's secret. Pitch out to Bledsoe. Bledsoe's going to steer inside, fight his way down to the 4-yard line, just shy of the first down. Going to be a gain of 9.
That's a great read by Bledsoe. He sees that they're over pursuing, so he cuts it right back inside and heads north and south to get those yards.
If he doesn't run into the back of his own offensive lineman, he might cut into the end zone. So now 3rd and 1 at the, it's going to be a 3rd and a long one, about 1.5 yards. Another handoff to Bledsoe, and he's going to be brought down short. Looked like tripping him up was linebacker Andrew Rangel. And the Lions don't even flinch. They don't even move. Even though they lose half a yard, it's going to be 4th and 2, and they're going to bring in the heavy package now. Stepping onto the field, Joshua DeFogie and Daniel Zelaya. First time we've called their names this season, stepping in for this big, heavy package off to the right. Bunch formation, Bledsoe stays in. Now he's going to step off to Collins' right. He's going to hang on to it. He's going to spin out of trouble. Northy's blanketed. Collins is going to run for it. He's going to pick up the first down inside the 1-yard line. And the Rams are excited. They think they've stopped him, but he is definitely picked up a first down. I think one of the linebackers thought he had to just stop him from getting in the end zone.
And CJ does a great play action. He sold it and he rolled out and he saw that Sammy Northey was open. He said he wasn't open, so he said, I'm going to take this myself.
Yeah, does great awareness to know that your guy is not open. He was very well covered by Braxton Brown in the end zone. An amazing play by CJ, spinning out of that blitzing guy coming from his left. So now Lions set up 1st and goal inside the 1. CJ's going to keep it, and it's going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage.
And that was a quick out that he was trying to target Jeremy Carr on, but this Rams defensive line had a good job keeping their hands in the passing lane for a quick pass.
Yeah, good job of immediately winning that battle up front to force themselves inside so they're right in CJ's face. If he would have flipped it off to Bledsoe, he probably had the lane on the right. Brings up 2nd and 1. A lot of tight formation inside. 2 men out wide to CJ's right. This time it is going to be underneath. Block placed by Bledsoe. And Northy's going to be just short. Gets hammered in on the play. It's Byron Tate taking Northy down. Good block by Bledsoe to free him up. Northey just had to go a little bit too far back trying to get in, and he is going to get demolished. So Tate was the man who hit him up top, and then blocking down below is number 21 Chance Carroll.
And I just think that was just physics. He's just Sammy Norris, 5'6", about $160.
He was not going to win that battle. Now timeout's going to be called by the Rams as they're facing a big moment here.
Texas Wesleyan. First time out of the half.
And it was Michael Miller who got the initial pressure and that forced Bledsoe to lay down the block. That was actually big, because if Bledsoe is free to leave him alone and he gets to be the guide man for Northey downside, he's going to take care of one of those guys and Northey gets into the end zone. So a great combo play by the team of Miller, Rangel, and Chance Carroll. And it brings up a 3rd and 1, and that ball is set inside the 1 for the Lions as the Rams are looking for a big goal line stand.
And Rangel just a couple plays ago, remember he had that outside play to where he was getting blocked, but he just had enough of his arm to trip up Bledsoe from getting in the end zone.
Sooner Athletic Conference score update. Arizona Christians up 7-0 against Oklahoma Panhandle State. That's a big one right there between two of the best teams in the conference. OPSU still kind of gunning for that Langston spot, gunning for a chance to still take the conference away from it. So they need that win today, but they are down early.
Yeah, I believe everyone in the Sooner Athletic Conference is chomping at the bit at Langston. They're trying to dethrone Langston.
So now the Lions will bring up pretty much the same set they had last time, just flip it. 2 men stacked up to your left. CJ in the pistol formation. Rams 9 men lined up, hand up the middle. He's gonna get blasted. Bledsoe didn't stand a chance. He's gonna get brought down by Diane Petway.
Yeah, the Rams had 8 in the box, and they know it was 3rd and 1, 3rd and goal, so they just sent the crib on that one.
So the Lions looks like they are going to go for it again. Blaine Rose going to check into this game. They're going to bring the heavy package out. It didn't have a whole lot of success, so put in your playmakers. You are looking at a 4th and 2 now as well. It's not 4th and inches as the clock hits 4:40 here in the first quarter. This is a big one right here. Rams looking for a big goal line stand. So he's just going to fake the handoff, throw it inside. It is caught. Touchdown. Jeremy Carr, his 2nd of the game.
And that's a pick route. You see a replay here. You may not see here, but it was a great pick route. You had your outside receiver go inside, which was Jeremy Carr. You had your inside receiver, who's normally Jeremy. They had the taller Brian Dotson on the inside. They pick him to the outside to open up Jeremy running the slant in the end zone.
And it's key to run those pick plays fast, because if you wait half a second too long, that's how you get offensive pass interference. TH on for the extra point. It's up and good, and the Lions take a 21-14 lead. You'll see the play here.
It was good, like I said, good pick route by Dotson, going from inside to outside to give Jeremy Carr a step on the defensive back to give him open in the end zone.
And that will cap off a 97-yard drive for the Lions. That drive starts at their own 3-yard line. Now we're ready for the answer here. You threw out your answer. And like I said, I'm cheating here. This is a complete trick question. The highest scoring game in history is 101-61, because it was a basketball game.
Oh my gosh, that was a trick question. I'm sitting here thinking it's football.
That's why it says homecoming game. Didn't say homecoming football game. In 2007, it was a homecoming basketball game. The football team's schedule didn't align right, and the Lions won that one 101-61. Like I said, not impossible that you could get to that score this time.
Definitely not.
So I've been told that we are on track for over a 100-point game for the Lions right now. We are. Yeah, well over 100 points. So maybe, just maybe, they can eclipse that basketball mark today.
It seemed to be like a 6-man football score.
Another short kick by TH here, fielded by the up man at the 20. Just stays with his men, and he's going to keep fighting up to the 36, 37-yard line. So even when the Lions kick it away,
it seems like the special teams unit is trying to pick their poison right now. They don't know if they want to kick it deep to Diamond Williams to set him up, or kick it short and try to beat the ball down there to get him pinned on the 30.
Either way, it's working for the Rams. Yes. They keep on getting good field position, and even though Diamond Williams hasn't been able to touch it much, they've been able to figure it out. So now Wesleyan comes out with Isom 5 men wide, no running backs. Haven't seen this setup for them so far in this game. just going to throw it into the flat, and that's overthrown. And you kind of felt like that play was coming. The Lions kind of baited him into it almost. They bring the pressure and forces the ball out too early. Like I said, the Lions had no problem kind of giving that to them. It's going to be overthrown to bring up a 2nd and 10. Now your 2 running backs will step back into the game. Isom takes the handoff, is going to throw it over the middle, and again, just a little bit too high for his receiver. It's going to be Brandon Rolfe.
And defensive coordinator Jared Hudgens is doing a lot with this defense. He's switching from a 4-3 to a 4-4, switching from zone to man a lot, and right there they were man. And so the quarterback saw that on the outside he had an opening, but Bryce Bailey was there to break it up.
Now 3rd and 10, 4 wide, running back off to his right. Isom steps back. Here comes the pressure, and he is going to be brought down for a sack.
Landon Jones, that was great. Defensive coordinator Jared Hudgens pulled a rabbit out of his hat right there. He played cover 2 man, which you really don't see in these situations. And then he sent Landon Jones on a blitz because there was a backer coming out, not a backer, a running back coming out that was, as you see here, Landon Jones typically would have that back, but Landon Jones shoots the gap and gets a sack. It's a big play for this defense.
Very big play, forcing another Rams punt. Was just good awareness by Jones to
Yes.
say, hey, I can get there before the running back can get open. So got some adjustments at the line for the Rams. Doubt this is fake punt territory, but they're waiting for something. Splits the middle. Oh, a little bit of pressure on the punter. That's going to go harmlessly out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it. It's going to be up at least the 40-yard line, so it's going to be decent field position for the Lions. He's going to put it at the 44.5, 45, right on the 45, so more good field position for the Lions. Up by 7 with 3:18 in the first quarter.
And Crownover actually almost got a block there. If you remember correctly, he had a block 2 weeks ago when they played at home against Texas College.
Another score update here. Well, that is the OPSU Arizona Christian game. The Aggies in the Firestorm knotted up at 7. You see right there. Out in Oklahoma. Looks chillier there than here. I think this is perfect football weather, isn't it? CJ is going to fake the handoff. Plenty of time, and finally just kind of throw it into the flat. Nobody there. Throws it away. Brings up 2nd down.
Rams had good pressure on this play to where CJ doesn't have enough time to let the play develop, so he just had to get rid of it.
Rams defense has to actually feel a little bit bolstered. They gave up the touchdown, but they stopped essentially 6 plays in a row. CJ had his little scramble, but only for a couple of yards to have me good enough for the first down. They stopped 6 plays in a row inside their own 5-yard line. They need to generate some momentum off that. Free is going to pick up, well, it looks like just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
And they try to get Free isolated here on the outside, but this Rams defense didn't bite at all and pursued the ball very well.
So now just like that brings up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 10, as we finally tick towards 3 minutes to play in what has been a shootout of a first quarter.
To say the least.
It's going to be, you're going to have a highlight reel just from the first 12 minutes of play. Play coming in for CJ. Being the pistol, Free will now split off to his right. Blaine Rowe lined up very tall and in motion. Pressure in his face and unable to connect, but a flag's going to come in. Looks like Dotson's going to have drawn a little bit of pass interference on that one. A lot of things going in motion on that play, and it looks like the Rams, they stayed pretty well on covering it, but a little bit too much contact down the field.
Pass interference, defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Diamond Williams getting called with the penalty.
Yeah, let's see the replay here. I'm curious to see how much contact was exactly there.
And it's not, it looks like he might have had a little bit of a hold on that shoulder. Not a ton of contact, but it'll give the Lions a first down to the 40-yard line. Penalties have been a problem for Wesleyan here so far. Brought down, loose ball. There's no whistle. This is a live ball. He's going to take it down to the 23-yard line with the recovery is Michael Miller. And I think the Lions thought he was down. Let's see the replay here.
It seemed to be his knee was down.
It looked like his knee was down. Stefan Free is fumbling that away.
To say the least, yeah.
Watch the replay here again. He's getting wrapped up, and it's a bang-bang play right there. His knee is going to the ground as the ball's getting ripped out of his hand. You would need some serious frame-by-frame close-up analysis, but either way, it's a huge break for the Rams as they even the turnover margin, get down to the 23-yard line on a big scoop and run by Michael Miller. So Isom sets back, throws it over, just out of reach for his wide receiver, DJ Robinson. Catch the replay again here. He's going frame by frame, and
his helmet's
it really looks like his knee was down just a half second before the ball came out, but no point in arguing it now. It is a turnover, and the Rams have great field position down to the 23-yard line, 2nd and 10. Man goes in motion. It's going to be pitched off to him. Going to the corner. Great job dragging him down for just a gain of 2, limiting Lamont Monroe's ability to get free there.
Landon Jones does a great job. He understands that they're spread out a little bit playing that 4-3 again, but he understands what his running in the field lane is. That's his IQ, and that's what I was talking about pregame. This guy has a high IQ, he has a high motor, and he knew where to be.
Brings up a 3rd and 8. Isom back to throw. Got him underneath, but forced out of the pocket. He's going to scramble. He's going to get the first down to the 11-yard line. And the Rouch just did a good job of kind of freeing up that corner for him. He had the awareness to get around the corner and pick up the first down.
And that was just one of those plays because the Will linebacker twisted on a stunt into the delayed blitz, and he was able to get there.
Handoff, tripped up at the 9-yard line. Desmond Nisby was looking for another big gain. He's going to pick up just about 2 yards. Bring up 2nd and 8 at the 9-yard line.
And Nisby here is trying to get right off the tackle, but you see his lineman wasn't there quick enough to seal the edge, and that's a great tackle by the SAGU defense.
Yeah, it looks like Darren Carr might have been the one to grab a hold of his foot to bring him down. We got a keeper here, shedding the tackle, gets down to the 4-yard line, and in on that one again. He was out here earlier for the fumble. And that's going to be Joseph Nava. He was the one that came in when they had the fumble on the drive earlier.
And they came in and ran a read option, which is not a bad play call, but SAGU has to wrap up on defense, especially down in their own territory.
3rd and 3 at the 4-yard line, probably thinking 4-down territory at this point. Nobody moves off the snap, and there comes the flag. Kind of waiting for it. Just kind of waiting for that
there was
flag.
just a little bit too much contact. Looked to seem to be a little bit of holding by Malik Golden.
Malik Golden's going to get penalized here as he was pretty all over DJ Robinson there, just holding on.
Pass interference, defense number 7. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
So it's going to be a first down by penalty on the Lions, and they haven't had many this game, but that's a tough one. And yeah, this is just when you have that isolation, you're fighting for the ball, and yeah, you have to let the guy use both of his hands. It's one of those rules. So now back into the game for the Rams is Joseph Nava at quarterback. Man in motion underneath. Nava's going to keep it in the option, going to the corner. Doesn't have the space, but he cuts up underneath and is just shy of the end zone.
And SAGU got away with one there because they over-pursued a little bit, and he read that and cut it back inside. But luckily we had, as you see here, SAGU has they're keeping outside containment, and then he sees that he cuts right back inside. But luckily someone was there to fill the alley.
It was great awareness because that's probably going to be a loss of 1 or 2 if he keeps going to the corner. As it is, he gets down inside the 1. You hear the horn to end the first quarter, and a wild one it was. The Lions currently lead 21-14, but the Rams are knocking at the door inside the 1. We've just been told if they were to score there, we would be on track to tie the homecoming score all time for basketball. So, but as it is, absolute barn burner of a first quarter. The Rams struck first. Here comes a volleyball update. The Lady Lions lead 2-1. They're currently down in set 4, down 14-8. So possibly looking at 5 sets up there. And I say this with a little bit of disdain, number 23 ranked Lady Lions.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful.
Add 2 and 3 together, okay? Number 5. Yeah. Number 5 ranked Lady Lions. They've won 24 games in a row. Their only loss of the year was a 5-set thriller to Evangel in Evangel's own tournament back in like August.
Yep.
Okay?
That's before school started.
And there's no excuse. SAGU Sports Network broadcasts these games, okay? So they can be watching them. They can be watching them and knowing how good this team is. But hey, if they make the tourney, doesn't matter what they're ranked, they're gonna go clean up there. So Lady Lions putting on a show this season. Hank Moore's squad. So now, 5 men wide, no setbacks, second and half of one, really. Set up underneath, and that's gonna be a quarterback sneak and just too much effort. Donovan Isom, all 6'5", 245 pounds of him. He's gonna fight his way in. And on the first play of the second quarter,
I almost thought that was Jamarcus Russell for a second.
He's just fighting. Like I said, it's tough when you win battle 1 and battle 2, but he comes back for battle 3 and pushes his way in. Not a whole lot you can do about that. Good job putting those four or 5 men out wide just to totally spread the Lions out. Now on to kick the extra point. Oh, it's bobbled. It's gonna be thrown. Caught, almost caught by Nisby. That would have been a big one if they'd have found a way to convert that. As it is, the botched snap will keep the Lions ahead momentarily, 21-20. And when you have this many points, sometimes you can forget about those 1 or 2. Good awareness though by the kicker to throw this up there, and if Nisby's able to catch that, he might fall forward for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, Landon Jones, it was a good reaction by him to get there to try to break it up. There's a little John after the play too. Landon Jones and this defense, he's not happy about giving up 20 points, 4 seconds into the second quarter.
That touchdown comes after a controversial fumble call where it looked like the knee might have been down, but the call goes the Rams' way. They set up deep inside SAGU territory and convert some big plays along the way to, well, not knot it up, but get it back within 1. Another score update here. Langston currently leading Lion, just 6-0 though in the second quarter. Lion fresh off upsetting SAGU last week. And here's another replay of that controversial fumble. And again, that replay, it's so tough. The ball looks like it's coming loose around his ribs.
Yeah.
But it looks like that knee is down. Like it really comes down to the question of what is still possession.
Yep.
Is the ball pinned against your body still possession or not? Northie's going to field this at the 10. He's going to dance around a little bit at the 15, look for that lane. It's just not going to be there, though. And the Rams, it kind of felt like the Rams were making a concerted effort not to over-pursue there.
Yes.
You don't usually think about staying at home on a kickoff return, but they stayed around the 25-yard line going, no, we're not crossing the 20 until Samuel Northie does.
Yeah, they fly down the field, and like you said, immediately get to the 25. They start to break down, and they're saying, hey, we're going to let you make a decision for us.
Yes. You pick a lane, and then we'll fill it. We're not going to give you any more lanes because he already showed what he can do. So now the Lions will step back out on the field, still maintaining a 1-point lead. Referees conferring. Looks like they have a little bit of a play clock issue.
Please reset the game clock to 14:31. 1-4-3-1.
So 15 seconds added back onto the game clock. Ball at the 23-yard line, still with that 1-point lead.
Thank you.
Doesn't feel like 1 point means all that much at this point in the game.
No.
Doesn't feel like they're going to pitch a shutout for the next 3 quarters. Let's just say that. CJ fakes the handoff, looks off his first man, gets it out to Dotson. He's going to get out to the 36-yard line. The flag comes in. Looks like he might have a little bit of a face mask here. Going up high is Dotson. That's when you have all the height. And I think we're going to get a face mask called on number 7, Michael Miller, who had the fumble recovery moments ago. Referee still discussing it.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 22, offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 2, defense. The yardage offset, that's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for both players.
So Blaine Rowe and Diamond Williams apparently got into it a little bit. He said after the play, which is interesting because the flag actually came in still during the play. So maybe there was just some off-the-ball extracurriculars going on at that moment, but they shut it down early.
Yes, had to have been, because as soon as he said unsportsmanlike conduct, I was baffled.
Yeah, so results in no change of the situation, though. Lions at the 36-yard line. CJ is going to fake the handoff again. Quick throw out to Jeremy Carr. Almost had a lane there, but he's going to get brought down by number 33, Jordan Purnell.
That was good. CJ Collins, once again, a seasoned veteran, saw the blitz coming up, and he knew that Jeremy Carr was one-on-one, and he's always going to beat that backer to the outside.
Carr's having himself quite a good game so far. 2 touchdown catches. The senior connection between those two. CJ's going to throw it over the middle. It just didn't have enough underneath it. Otherwise, Dotson's wide open at the 45-yard line. If he's able to catch that, it's going to be a foot race to see how many yards he gets.
If Dotson had a good release, and CJ, a seasoned veteran, once again looks off the defender, but he also had pressure coming on, so he tries to make that throw off his back foot and just wasn't able to complete the pass.
Another third down situation here. 3rd and 4 at the 42-yard line. CJ steps back, looking underneath, and he's going to find, who else? Sam Northey. Down to the 43-yard line. Big 3rd down conversion. And now another late flag is going to come in. We will see what this call is. Either way, it came in after the play.
Yep. We've been seeing that hue of that flag quite a bit this afternoon.
It's been a problem for both teams all season. And it's been showing up today as well.
Result of the play is a first down. After the play is over, dead ball, personal foul, 61 offense, unnecessary roughness. We'll reset the chains, still be a first down.
Dane Macklin is going to pick up a 15-yard penalty. So the initial play will stand. So it is still a big 3rd down conversion, but you essentially lose all the yards you just gained and set up again 1st and 10. So second play in this drive now that we've had a little bit too much going on afterwards, only this time there's no offsetting.
And it's good to be an emotional player. However, anytime emotions is driving the car, logic is taking a back seat.
This time it will be a handoff. Sprinting down the field. He's got a lane. He's down to the 34-yard line. Bledsoe picks up all those yards right back.
And Michael Bledsoe's getting into a groove today, but you also have to commend that offensive line and that downfield blocking by the receivers to give him that slither to where he can make that play happen.
Yeah, there really was. At the moment he had that lane, you knew he was getting 25 yards. There just was nobody in front of him. It was just a race by the Rams to force them out of bounds. So they're down to the 34-yard line. CJ is going to fling it out. Caught by Free. He's breaking tackles down to the 12-yard line. And we've seen that a couple of times, Free loose off of those screen patterns. This time it finally is unchecked. CJ drops it in very well, leads them down the field.
And that was a great play call. They've tried to hit it a couple times early. They just weren't able to complete it. And when they finally do complete it, they get a good first down.
Fake handoff to Free. Carr, it's 3. 3 for Carr on homecoming. Into the end zone, touchdown for the Lions.
Great play action by quarterback CJ Collins. That play action slows up that defender just a tad bit, and he has a one-on-one with the backer, and Jeremy Carr has been winning that all afternoon.
He is just he's putting on a route running clinic right now. Like, just take the footage of the routes Jeremy Carr's been running in this game, put them to tape, and then send them to 8th graders everywhere how to learn how to run routes. because Carr has been dominant with his 3rd touchdown catch of the game. Kick is up and good. SAGU pushes their lead to 8. They respond after the Rams touchdown, and this game isn't slowing down anytime soon. We're putting up some big offensive numbers here. You do feel like this is going to kind of be, now both defenses have forced a turnover.
They have.
And so the defenses have sort of done their job to some extent, but you feel like it feels like that might be the only way to stop these teams at the moment, because when the offenses aren't getting the ball taken away from them, they're making things work.
Yep. One thing about Jeremy Carr is he told me he didn't play receiver until his sophomore year of high school. He used to play defensive back, and he said, you know, playing defensive back before he played receiver just helped him learn about the leverages and what releases he has to take. And we're seeing that prevalent today.
See the update there. Firestorm leading the Aggies 14-7. That is really big, honestly. You hear a lot of times about guys converting to different positions, but that one makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Because you've spent all this time knowing what receivers do that beat you and what you can do to beat them. So if you have the ability to make that switch, and you're always in the mind of the guy across from you,
yep.
that's a very logical switch. TH on to kick it away. They've been kicking it short the last few times. Tell them the wind is at their back. They're still going to kick it short. Diamond Williams is going to let it bounce. That's a free ball.
Goodness.
The Lions have it.
Oh, my gosh.
The Lions have it.
That is a bonehead play by Diamond Williams, letting that ball to land. I'm assuming he thought it was going to go out of bounds. It is not going out of bounds, and you can also tally it up as an onside kick.
And now the Lions are shaking their heads because there is a flag on the play, and it's back at the 30-yard line. This huge break for SAGU.
Please stop the game clock.
This huge break for SAGU just might be erased. The Lions are resetting up for the kick.
I really hope that's not an offside.
Offside. 59 the kicking team. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Re-kick.
Matt, that was an offside.
Oh, my gosh. You couldn't have drawn that up any better.
That was a dream. That would have been the old 35-yard onside kick.
12-26. 12-26.
And again, Diamond Williams just doesn't need to let that bounce at all. SAGU with the recovery. That would have been a game-changing play. But instead, it is immediately erased by another penalty. That's not one you usually think about, but that's another big one. Another score update of Angela. They're homecoming too, up in Springfield, Missouri. They're up 19-13. So now, I don't think Diamond Williams is going to let that happen again.
Definitely not.
TH kicks it off. It's going to be short again. This time the up man will grab it at the 32. Fighting his way up to the 47-yard line. Number 23, Keiondre Belcher. And that's a big switch right there. The Lions having the ball at the 30-yard line. Instead, it's the Rams taking over at the 47.
Yes, and I'm still not going to get over that offside. Murphy's Law is evident in today's game already.
Yeah, that is typically those offsides penalties on a kickoff get declined because you don't usually need them. And that is one of those times that you mark that moment down for how big it was. Now Isom has a man underneath. He's going to get hauled down by Marco Matthews, though. No room to work. Picks up 4 yards into SAGU territory.
And that's a good play right there because that number 3 receiver runs right at the wheel linebacker, who is Marco Matthews, to freeze him up just a tad bit to get the number 2 running underneath.
At least Matthews had a good recovery to keep it from being any more than just a 4-yard gain. 2 men in the backfield. Another play action. Wide open, breaking. He's going to try to cut back inside. Is going to get dragged down at the 11-yard line. Lamont Monroe again. He's having himself quite a game. Had a touchdown catch earlier.
And that's just a great play call by the offense to counter what defensive coordinator Jared Hudson was doing on defense. He switched to a cover 1 right there, and they were not cover 1, cover 3, and that just changed up the whole defense.
Gained just about 1 by Devontae Mitchell-Dixon on 1st and 10. They're actually going to mark them no gain, so the Lions are able to shut down the run, but the Rams are starting to show something in the passing game. They were having some problems there earlier, And like I said, you want to run so you can pass. And then if you start passing well as well, the defense has no answers. That's how you get to 28-20 with more than 10 minutes left in the first half, that is. Man goes in motion. Just going to scramble for it, Isom. He's going to pick up a few yards down to the 8-yard line.
That's a good open field tackle by Landon Jones with a good finish by Marco Matthews, because that's a big quarterback, and being able to bring him down in the open field is always a plus.
Just prevent any further damage. Keep it at that 3rd and mid-range instead of picking up down to the 5 or so. Now stepping into the game for the Rams, number 5, Eric Richards, another quarterback, having to keep up with how many quarterbacks are stepping into the game for the Rams right now. Another read option. Richards going to cut inside. He's going to get down to the 4-yard line. It's going to be 4th and about 1.5 yards. And I don't think they run that play if they don't plan for going on 4th down.
Yeah, that's what's different or difficult for this defense is they haven't played a read option offense all year. So learning and remembering constantly when you haven't practiced what your disciplines are for pitch man and first threat is definitely showing evident right now.
Richards is going to stay in the game. He's going to have 2 men in the backfield with him. And the Rams aren't a full-time read option offense, but when they bring in these other quarterbacks, they turn into it, and that can really confuse a defense. Big 4th and 2. He's going to pitch it out. He's got a lane. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown number 32, Desmond Nisby again. And when you string them out like that, there's just too many options. It's a great rushing attack for the Rams right now.
The defense did a good job. The first threat was taken care of, and they just over-pursued on that second threat to where he can make the one cut inside and get in the end zone.
So he steps in for 2 plays, does Eric Richards. He gets him to the 4th down possession, makes a good pitch for the touchdown. That extra point is up and just barely good. So they don't opt to go for the 2-point conversion this early.
And see, it's he just over-pursued. Marco Matthews just over-pursued right there. And a big hit by Landon Jones just wasn't enough to keep him out the end zone.
Yeah, just a little bit too late. So a drive that started potentially with a 35, 40-yard onside kick, erased by an offsides penalty, results in the Rams scoring yet again. We still got 9:16 to go in the half, and this one is 28-27. First one, Dad, 90 wins.
Yep. I'm waiting for one of these defense to figure out and start creating turnovers and just making these offenses punt the ball.
Another update from the Sooner Athletic Conference. Langston leading Lyon 13-3. And I do believe that is also Langston's homecoming game. So Lyon trying to play spoiler there. Texas Wesleyan trying to play spoiler here. And so far, their offense has put up an amazing showing. I said pregame they had to be at 30 points with 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to have a problem with that because they're at 27 with almost 10 minutes to go in the first half. So I was thinking this, 42-35 type of game. 42-35 at the half would mean these offenses are slowed down.
Yes.
It is an absolute track meet. Even the wind's trying to get in on moving the ball right now. Blows it off the tee.
The wind's changed directions. It was blowing 10 miles north. Now it's blowing 10 miles south.
And it is incumbent upon one of these defenses to figure something out. But when both the offenses, it's not that defenses are making a whole lot of mistakes. The offenses are just playing great football. That'll go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Lions will take over at the 25-yard line. Like I said, it is tough because it's not like you can really point to one thing, oh, the defenses are doing this bad or defenses are making mistakes here. It's just a series of great offensive plays right now on both sides of the field. Evangel still holding on to a 19-13 lead. They're just at 19-13 in the 3rd quarter. What are they playing up there? Soccer? Come on. we got 55 points here in the first 20 minutes of this one. Get in our level. And you see Oklahoma Panhandle State tying the Firestorm right there, 14-14 in the 2nd quarter. Another little pitch there to Northey. He's just making the footwork. He's fighting his way, and that's one of those plays. Any other player picks up 6. Samuel Northey picks up 16.
Samuel Northey is what a lot of guys like to say is that he has the juice. And then you see the replay right here.
Just keeps cutting around. He's going to get upended, lands. The ball came loose at the end, but it was kind of caused by his back hitting, so Lions will retain possession at the 42-yard line. CJ's going to keep it and blanket it, but making a great catch. That's Jeremy Carr again, even though he was well covered on that play. Hauls it in for a gain of 7 on first down.
And CJ Collins has been picking on number 33, Jordan Purnell, all day, and Jeremy Carr's been there all day to receive it.
And that's got to hurt when you finally do read the route and stay on the guy, and the pass is just too good, and the receiver is hauling it in up to the 49-yard line. CJ play action. The blitz is in his face. He's going to unleash underneath. Great job by Carr coming back to that one.
That's just another great play. That's the chemistry between these two, because it seems as if Jeremy Carr knew that he was going to throw it to his back shoulder. Right here, you see he's overplaying Jeremy Carr's route a little bit. Journey drops his hips, turns around, and catches that ball, and that's a great pass by C.J. Collins.
And after the play, Purnell was looking at Diamond Williams saying, I need help out here. He's like, I need help. He's going to be seeing number 2 in his nightmares if something doesn't change in this one, because Jeremy Carr is just ruining his Saturday. Hand off to Bledsoe. He's going to go down the field, get around 12 yards, but there is a flag in the area of holding.
And I see Dane Macklin right next to the flag. I don't believe in coincidences.
Holding, 61 offense, 10-yard penalty, in the spot of the foul, replay first down.
Those refs sometimes have excellent aim. They know exactly who they're aiming for, and they just drop it in there within that radius. These guys, they probably had maybe some lawn darts experience.
It seems as if they go to some referee throwing flag school.
Some of these guys, they can hurl it 25, 30 yards, and you do see, just holding in the corner there, wrapped up. Anytime the defender is able to kind of get to your side, and so your arm has to go across his chest, you're going to get called every single time. So 1st and 19. Oh, and I was watching Bledsoe, but guess who wasn't? Byron Tate was not watching Bledsoe. I thought that was a handoff. He never thought it was, though. He just drills CJ in the backfield.
Right there, they stacked the box with 7, yet they send 8. And right there with how the play call was called, that they didn't have an extra blocker to help CJ out there.
So loss of 9 brings up 2nd and 28. Play action. He's going to go deep to Taurus Hill. Hill hauls it in. There is a flag on the play. We'll see what the call is, but at the moment, Hill has an amazing catch that would be enough for a first down. Lions are moving like they're going to get the call.
And Taurus Hill has been a quiet target throughout the season.
You don't call his name much, but you feel like you call his name in big play moments. This is just a great pass from CJ. Taurus Hill blanketed.
Pass interference, number 40 of the defense. The penalties decline. Result of the play is a catch and then a first down.
So they always say there's not many plays in the playbook for 2nd and 28. Yeah, there are. Throw a 30-yard pass to Taurus Hill. That was easy. And that was a great job. A little bit of interference and good awareness not to push off. Because at first look, it might have been a push off, but he did just use his body to turn away. Never extended his hands, got his hands up quickly to make that catch down to the 22-yard line. Oh, and Samuel Northey didn't have the room he needed on that one. Thrown for a loss of 3.
They were trying to run a tunnel screen there, and if they had picked up their blocks anytime Samuel Northey has any kind of slither of hope, he can take it the distance.
He needs the width of his shoulders. That's the only lane he needs, and unfortunately for the Lions, they were unable to spring him there. Stepping into the game for SAGU. Big number 6 on the right side there. A little bit of a different formation. Bledsoe picks up the blocker. He's going to go to the end zone. It's Northey. Double teams.
Oh, my goodness.
What a catch.
Oh, my goodness.
What a catch from Samuel Northey.
Oh, my goodness.
Double covered in the end zone. Couldn't ask for a better pass. Couldn't ask for a better catch. C.J. Collins is having himself a homecoming to remember here.
And Samuel Northey, 5'8". 5'8", in between two receivers. And they say Samuel Northey, he has the juice. Well, the juice is loose. The juice is loose today.
He threw the first touchdown of the game for the Lions, and he's going to pick up the 5th touchdown catch for the Lions today. There is a flag on the extra point, probably going to be an offsides, unabated to the kicker.
A little bit of encroachment caused the offense to jump.
False start.
Oh, false start.
The offense. 5-yard penalty. Redo the try.
So the extra point becomes slightly more difficult for TH.
I thought the defensive line got in the neutral zone there to cause, I believe it was Caleb Flores to jump there, but.
So extra point gets moved back to the 7.
I've got to push up the play clock here.
And it's taken longer to get this extra point than it takes most of these teams to score touchdowns. So it's now a 25-yard extra point for TH. A little bit of a rough hold, but it's going to be up and true as the Lions go ahead 35-27 with 6:06 remaining. The crowd is loving it.
We actually have a pretty good outing here at Lumpkin Stadium.
It's turned out very nice. I couldn't ask for a better day. If you've been in Texas the last week, you're just happy to see blue skies and some sunshine. Beautiful day for some football. And they are seeing a thriller so far. And that guy right there, 255 passing yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half.
I will not be surprised if he breaks his own record this afternoon.
Because he said it last week, 477 is the current
with
record.
5 passing touchdowns. I'm seeing him going for at least 7 passing touchdowns. And I see him getting over 500 yards passing.
Well, he's already over halfway there with 6 minutes left in the half. The only thing that would stop him at this point is if it turned into a rout. He's lucky, because it doesn't look like the Rams are stopping either. Looks like they're going to have to keep throwing into the fourth quarter at the moment. Here is the replay of that touchdown. Just a dime from C.J. Collins, and that is just all Northey getting to the right spot. Northey never lets his eyes off the ball. He knows exactly where to be where that lands in between two defenders.
And that's just one of those plays to where you just can't do anything. There was great defensive effort by those defensive backs, but like you said, he threaded the needle right there, and Samuel Northey came with the touchdown.
So the Lions faced a 2nd and 28 on that drive. 2 big passes from C.J. leads to a touchdown. And, breaking loose, getting to the outside. And that's a real exciting gain of 1. Either way, the Lions still having problems ramping up. Number 29, Mark James on that one. He's able to stay alive up to the 35-yard line. They're just lucky that wasn't somebody with a little bit more speed, or they'd have been in a lot of trouble there.
And even more so, that returner, he's lucky he went down when he did and took a step back, because senior defensive back Xavier Pittman, number 24, was flying in like a missile.
He was ready to pick up a big special teams play. Isom back onto the field now, 2 men in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to to Dixon. And he's going to get dragged down for no gain, maybe a half a yard.
And you see them trying to get back into the run game where they saw real early success. And here, SAGU in a 4-3, but Landon Jones there. That entire defense did a great job filling their alleys and playing discipline.
So it brings up a 2nd and 9, we'll call it. 2nd and 9.5. Isom drops back. He's going deep. He's got a man. What a catch! What a catch!
What a catch and what a throw. He threw it where only the receiver could catch the ball.
That's Brandon Rolfe. He's overthrown Rolfe a few times in this one. Not here. Rolfe just has a step.
He has a step on him. And Bryce Bailey's right there in his hip pocket. That was just great defense. Good defense, even better pass.
Dixon on the run, picks up a few yards down to the 25-yard line. So, yeah, just when the Lions get a nice stop on first down, Isom comes out and drops in a beautiful pass. gain of 4 on first down, brings up 2nd and 6. 5 men wide, no one in the backfield for Isom. Steps up, throws short underneath. It's going to be enough for a first down to the 18-yard line.
That's a great hit by Landon Jones. Great open field tackle. And that wasn't even his man. He was dropping back on his man and saw that, oh, there's an injured player down.
Yeah, does a great job of making sure Tyler Pulley couldn't get away there.
Yep.
And I believe down on the field at the moment it's going to be number 55 for Texas Wesleyan. Jacob Keller. That's who we have in the roster at least.
I'm glad you have your binoculars because my eyes don't work as well as they used to.
Well, staring straight at these Wesleyan uniforms can be tough too. The bright yellow. Look at your current standings in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Langston, of course, leading the way at 5-0 in conference. Oklahoma Panhandle State at 3-1. Arizona Christian at 3-2. SAGU at 3-2. So you got a little traffic jam right there between Arizona Christian and Lyon. 3-2, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, and 2-3. Texas Wesleyan 1-5 on the year, 1-3 in conference.
That's one thing you were talking about 2 weeks ago in the last broadcast of the home game is that, you know, starting out that these teams were like top tier and then the bottom tier, but now they're starting to gel, they're starting to mesh together, and, you know, anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
The Lions found out the hard way last week.
Yes.
It really has turned into you can't sleep on anybody conference. So now getting up and walking off the field, and actually I do believe it's Colby Moffitt, number 65, misread that earlier. So Colby Moffitt, offensive lineman, is going to get off the field. Good to see him up and under his own power. And it is a first down for the Rams after that play, even though it was a solid hit by Landon Jones to prevent any further damage. Still picked up the first down to the 19-yard line. 1st and 10.
Up in there in SAGU's territory in the red zone.
Feels like we've been playing college overtime with all the times we spent in people's red zones in this half so far. And Isby in the backfield next to Isom. 4 men spread out. Isom's going to keep it. Look to the end zone, and that's going to be a flag on Christian Cross.
Yeah, I saw a little bit too much holding and too much contact there to where he didn't allow the receiver to run his own route.
Yeah, the receiver was trying to split away, and I think it's one of those things where you're a defender and you got your hand on the guy's jersey. You're not expecting a quick pull away.
Yep.
He pulls away. He's going to draw the pass interference call, set up the Rams with great field position.
Yeah, it's pretty hard because he was running a corner route, and the corner route is one of the hardest routes to cover in a man,
Holding.
especially when
33 defense. After this to the goal line, automatic first down.
So it'll be a holding call. Down to the 9-yard line, sets up 1st and goal.
Yep, and they gave the true freshman a hard task playing off man on a very speedy receiver.
Isom throws it off to the corner, going up, unable to haul it in. That's how this drive got started. It was a toss out to number 80, Brandon Rolfe, but unable to haul that one in from the 9.
That's great defense by Bryce Bailey. He stayed in the hip pocket. He kept his eyes on the receiver, not looking in the backfield. And as soon as he saw the receiver move his hands up, he moved his hands up as well.
Now into the back, still in the backfield actually is Desmond Nisby with a new quarterback in the game. And there's the option. And oh, Nisby breaks free. What a run. He was drilled at the 9-yard line. I believe it was Marco Matthews who laid the wood on him at the 9, and it didn't matter. Nisby spins off.
And Marco Matthews does a great job causing initial contact. However, you got to keep your eyes through the thighs and drive 5 when necessary. And that was a time to latch on, drive 5, and wait for Calvary.
9-yard touchdown run off of the option play with, again, Eric Richards in at quarterback there. And the Rams walk right back down the field. Extra point is up and good. It's 35-34. And yeah, you're not going to see many times where Marco Matthews is going to lower his shoulder like that and not result in a tackle. But Nisby just spins off of it and fights. And everyone saw the hit, saw him go off balance, and it just froze the whole defense to where at that point Nisby kind of had a free path to the end zone.
Yeah, and last night, actually, I talked with former SAGU running back J.P. Lowry. I believe he holds the record here for touchdowns in a career here at SAGU in Southwestern. I mean, last year he rushed for 800-plus yards on the ground. That good tandem between him and Bickham. But he told me that one thing that running backs need to learn that's imperative for them is leverage and using the defender's hit and force to kind of keep yourself in equilibrium, to keep balance. And you saw that there when he spun around to keep himself balanced, and he got in the end zone there.
Score update, Langston pulling away. That game was 6-0 at the start of the second quarter. It's 28-3 now. So the Langston Lions pulling away from Lyon College.
Seems like that's been the tale of Langston all season. They start a little bit slow, and then once they get warmed up, they just run away with it.
It has. It's almost like they fool you into, obviously with the Lions, they were ahead 6-0 and I believe 13-7 at one point in that game. And then wing, bang, boom, they're down 35-13. It just happens that fast against Langston. By just one of the best teams in the conference and sure to be a playoff threat come November. Kickoff is up. It's going to be Northey at the 3. He sees his lane. He's going to get tripped up at the 21. He's going to get a shoe taken off by number 11, Tyler Pullig. Getting down there fast and wrapping up Northey.
And that's very hard to do when Northey's running at you full speed. You see Northey here.
That's the best way to stop him. Just take his shoe. Take his shoe. He can't go that far without a shoe. Take it right off his foot. So it really, this right now, it's a tennis match. Can you hold serve on offense? Whoever gets their serve broken, it's almost guaranteed they're going to be behind here in a moment. CJ steps out with 5 wide. Man goes in motion, pitches him underneath. That is free up to the 25-yard line.
And that's a good job spreading out this defense and trying to go right off the tackle. As you see there, that tackle gets outside, so Stephon Free cuts it back up.
That play's worked for them a couple of times in this game because there's just too many weapons to consider. You can't sell out on the idea they're going to run a little shovel pass on an underneath route. Although a gain of 3 feels like peanuts in this game. Free again goes in motion. This is going to be a fake handoff. He's looking deep, and nobody was there. I think he was expecting Carr to switch back and cut upfield. Instead, Carr cut across the field, and it lands harmlessly in the middle of the field. So now 3rd and 7. Like I said, whoever can break serve. So this is every 3rd down feels huge because it feels like if you point it away, you're about to be behind. CJ getting the call in.
I see them targeting Jeremy Carr right here.
It's got Blaine Rowe and Northey lined up tight inside. They're going to roll out to the outside, and it is Carr. Oh, goodness. Just put your hearts out there for Jordan Purnell right now. Trying to keep up with Jeremy Carr. Purnell's on him, and then Carr just the Lions know they can go there. They know if they need 7-8 yards, they can go there. They don't need to do anything fancy. You know CJ's going to deliver it. And if you saw it, you know that they're seeing it down there as well.
Definitely.
Handoff up the middle. Stephon Free picks up 9. But again, what are you supposed to do as a defense? Double team Carr? They're going to leave up Dotson open or Northey. You can't double team them.
Or Torres Hill.
The Torres Hill, yeah. I'd say Torres Hill, the guy that converted the 2nd and 28 a moment ago. So it's like in a typical game, Purnell would probably get some help at this point, but you can't pull anybody. Play action, and again, it's just Carr. Oh, he fumbles. Oh, and he is lucky that goes out of bounds. It's going to be a gain of 11. So Purnell finally makes a play, knocking the ball loose, and maybe that's his best strategy at this point.
Maybe he knocks it out there, and luckily it goes out of bounds for the Lions.
It looked like Carr was probably trying to start leaning forward with that ball to get the first down. A little bit dangerous.
I'm curious to see if they're ever going to try to play some press men on Carr so they can try to jam him up at the line of scrimmage because he's having a field day right now.
Rams show pressure. Now it's coming. Deep to Torres Hill. Drops it in. Just walk in backwards. Moonwalk into the end zone, Torres Hill. Touchdown. There is a flag. We'll wait on the call, but at the moment, that's the same route. That's the exact same route they just threw up there for the 2nd and 28 a moment ago.
And I believe it's going to be defensive pass interference. And again, we were just talking about CJ has a great problem. He can't choose which receiver he wants to throw to right now.
We'll wait on the call. Everyone's just kind of standing around. No official signal yet from either side on what it's going to be. Now the refs are going to report it. The Lions are celebrating, so this looks like it's going to stand. It's going to be a 46-yard touchdown pass from Collins to Torres Hill.
So Collins has to be well over 300 right now.
That would put him over 300, absolutely. Just what a pass. Forced out.
Pass interference, number 40 of the defense, caused the wide receiver to go out of bounds. Wide receiver came back in bounds, reestablished themselves. The result of the play is a touchdown.
That's big.
Penalty decline.
That is big, because otherwise it would have been illegal touching by Torres Hill. But he's able to get inside and take those few extra steps before the ball got there. And he just gets to get to the one, turn around, and just observe the whole field that the Lions traversed yet again.
And I'm glad to see that even though Torres Hill was pushed out, that he didn't give up on the play.
Yeah.
He just kept running, and then at the last second extended his arms to make the catch. And then, like you said, moonwalked into the end zone.
It really felt like it was the exact same play call as what converted that 2nd and 28 a moment ago. 46-yard touchdown pass. TH is on, up and good for his 6th extra point of the first half.
And he's 6 for 6.
CJ just immediately lets it loose. Just lets it loose immediately.
It seemed to be the cornerback was lost there. He was looking around.
He really was. I think he made the contact and just totally got fooled on where the ball was. I think he was looking back to see if the ball had been let loose already. And at that point, it was just too easy for Torres Hill. So that is the 4th Lions receiver to catch a touchdown pass in this half, actually. 3 to Jeremy Carr, and here we go.
323.
323 and 5 touchdowns in the first half. So like you said, he just set the all-time record last week at 477 yards. That's not just in jeopardy. That feels like it's on ice at this point. With 31 minutes and 49 seconds to play, that feels like that record just might as well enjoy its quick victory lap, because it's over. That record's gone. Now the Rams will have 2 timeouts in a minute 49, down by 8. The Lions do get the ball to start the second half, so this could be a big, big moment. And the Rams a little bit different formation. They dropped Diamond Williams in as the up man. He was not back to receive. He was in as the up man, unable to get to it. Honestly, if he'd have let that go.
Just about to say.
Yeah, he would have gone out of bounds, and they'd have had the ball at the 35 instead of the 25. Or it could have been another 35, 40-yard onside kick. I guess Diamond Williams learned his lesson.
He was taking no chances there.
So ball at the 25-yard line, and a minute 49. I mean, it might as well be a whole quarter the way these offenses have been moving. Still plenty of time for the Rams. Isom back to pass. He has pressure. He's going to get it down the field. He's got a man, just overthrows him. Just overthrows his man, and that is yet again Lamont Monroe. If he drops that in, that's going to be an easy touchdown.
There was good pressure off the edge by Derek Shelby. Quarterback was still able to get it away, and
Shelby's pressure probably forced that ball a little bit early, maybe adjusted the trajectory just enough to make sure that wasn't a 75-yard touchdown pass. First time we've called Shelby's name all game. That just shows how much this Lions defense has been hampered that you're not calling out Derek Shelby's name. Isom is going to throw it underneath. He's going to get brought down for a quick tackle, bring up 3rd and 6, and the Rams will call a timeout.
That was a nice pass. That was good defense by Malik Golden. That was just an even greater offensive effort.
Timeout. Texas Wesleyan. Second time out of the half.
Not sure if I would have called that timeout as the Rams facing a 3rd and 6. I might have just tried to hurry up and get a play off rather than the potential of getting stopped here, and the Lions will then have 3 timeouts and 1:20 to work with, presumably with pretty good field position.
And I'm seeing Coach Hudgens, he's really mixing up this defense. He's going from not only cover 2 and cover 3, and right here he's been playing cover 1 this series. And they're really trying to isolate the one-on-ones, Texas Wesleyan is, but luckily the SAGU defense is holding strong, bending and not breaking. And actually got away with a wide open receiver down the field.
Yeah, that's almost what it feels like you have to do in this game. Again, I compared it to a tennis match just moments ago. It's almost you have to wait for your opponent to fault. Just hit the net because there's no returning these serves. So big 3rd and 6 coming up here. Really could determine the flow of this game. 4 men out. Shotgun formation. Back to pass. Throws it. Open. Catch. He's still inbounds. He's weaving away up to the 50. Down into SAGU territory. Number 8, Cole Maxwell.
And Eric Berry had good defensive effort right there. He was just a tad bit behind. Because right now, SAGU is in a cover 2 man, so they have 2 safeties up high, roaming free, being athletes, reading the quarterback and man underneath.
Inside SAGU territory, ball at the 46-yard line. Isom, he's got a man open. Now he's got a man even more open and just can't deliver it. Just can't get it on target.
Curious there, Malik Golden, see the ball pop up if he could have intercepted that and ran it for a touchdown.
Isom just rolling out outside and just unable to drop that pass in. If he's able to throw it perfectly, it's a touchdown. Able to throw a little bit better, they have the ball down at the 15-yard line.
There was a lapse in coverage there. They were playing cover 2 zone.
In the backfield right now is David Allen, so a new running back in the game as well. Isom with pressure. Now he's going deep to nobody at all. That's going to land harmlessly in the end zone. I think a little bit of miscommunication there between quarterback and receiver. So a minute left in the half. Rams facing a 3rd and 10 at the 46.
Yeah, but an incompletion stops the clock.
Isom, pressure coming. He's going to get wrapped up by Shelby. Derek Shelby gets the sack. Lions dial up some pressure.
Lions call a timeout. Coach Ryan Smith calls a timeout because he knows he can get the ball back.
Timeout, SAGU. First time out of the half.
52 seconds left as the Rams will be forced to punt for just the 2nd time in the game. This will be their 3rd drive that ends with no points. They had a turnover and a punt, and that's will be their 2nd punt. So the Lions have had the same deal so far. They had a turnover and 1 punt as well. Besides that, it has been all points. Yep. So this is going to be a big punt here because it's going to really determine what SAGU's strategy is.
And Derek Shelby, this series is starting to come alive here. This is his 2nd big play to stop a charging Rams offense.
This could be a huge swing right here. Up by 8. If you're able to get any points at all in these final 52 seconds, getting the ball first. In a game like this where it's just such a track meet, if you can create any sort of separation, a 2-score separation, something that neither team has had all game. If you can have some 2-score separation, that can really be all you need to just stay 1 step ahead the rest of the way. Rams are checking all of their assignments, making sure they don't allow a block here. SAGU's gotten close.
Yeah, that's false start.
Yeah, it looks like the Rams have jumped just a bit early there.
False start. 23 the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So that'll aid SAGU's field position just ever so slightly. Northey is set up at the 22-yard line.
Anytime you have Northey back there, you never know what's going to happen. He could 0 to 100 in the split of a second.
Yeah, if I'm the Rams, I'm putting this out of bounds. I'm not taking any risks. Pressure will come, and it's going to go to Northey at the 19. He's got 1 man on the side, and he gets it wrapped up. And again, Tyler Pollock, call him Northey's worst weapon. And oh no, Northey is hurt on the sideline as Tyler Pullig has twice got him around the ankles on the last kickoff. Northy's up now and holding on to that ankle, and he's gonna limp to the bench. He's not gonna check in with the offense. Pullig is just gonna do a great job of staying on him, force him out of bounds, and ooh, yeah, just twisting that knee right there. Northy's trying to, walking along the sideline, they're trying to put some pressure on. Hopefully that's just a little bit of a tweak.
Yep.
Nothing more major, because you don't want to miss that weapon. So the Lions are at their own 20, 2 timeouts, 42 ticks to go in the first half. 42 points on the board for the Lions. Collins fakes the handoff. He's going to go back. Carr is not going to get open. There is a flag, though, and that's probably going to be an illegal contact or a hold. It'll give SAGU some free yardage.
Yeah.
Holding for the defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Braxton Brown gets called with the hold. Moves the Lions up to the 30-yard line, and yeah, pretty much immediately there.
He was taking him slow dancing there with the hands on the hips.
Whatever they can do to stop Jeremy Carr right now, whatever the game plan. Right now, the Rams are slow dancing in a burning room, so they need to find a way out of this and stop this Lions offense. Blanketed, and really, Collins had Free wide open.
I was thinking
if he'd have tossed it to Free, that's going to be a lot of yardage. Instead, he goes to a well-covered Taurus Hill for the incomplete pass. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line. Lions with an 8-point lead.
Northy back in the game now.
That's good to see. Just out a few plays after a little bit of a tweak of the knee. If he's out there that quickly, that means it's probably just nothing more than a little pain. Collins back to throw. He's going deep. He's got no, he's not Dotson. Oh, Dotson off his fingertips.
That was a heck of a pass by Collins.
Great pass, and it looked like Dotson lost the ball for a second and slowed up. If he hadn't had to slow up, he's going to be right underneath that. He's going to make the catch, possibly go for big. And yeah, CJ is just dropping these rainbows in. Right there, he got held up a little bit. Honestly, I would say credit the coverage a little bit from Michael Miller. Did just kind of force him to slow down and identify him. So 3rd and 10 at the 30-yard line, 23 seconds left in the half.
CJ making some adjustments.
And the Lions are going to use their 2nd timeout of the half. Maybe just kind of strategize here. This is one of those situations that you're up by 8. The big thing is you don't want to make a big mistake.
Yeah. You don't want to throw a pick 6, most definitely. But I know Coach Ryan Smith, I've been out to a couple practices, and they practice 2-minute drill at the beginning of every practice. So they definitely have some type of play package that they're ready to pull out the hat right now.
Well, we are 23 seconds from halftime. It's taken quite a while to get there. This game kicked off at 2. It's 3:40. But be sure and stay tuned during halftime for the homecoming court, the crowning of, I almost said Mr. and Mrs. Southwestern. That's class night. Gotta wait till April for that one. No, it's the homecoming king and queen here at SAGU Homecoming. So be sure and stay tuned for coverage of that. So 3rd and 10. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a handoff here. Oh, it's play action. Collins over the middle. Carr down to the 49-yard line. Clock will stop on the first down. The Lions are going to rush up there. Probably just try to spike it and save that timeout.
The clock stops so the chain gang can get set up.
CJ spikes it, 13 seconds left on the clock. So just when I was saying maybe you just run it, let the clock go out, see if you can get one more big play. Why not target Carr? There's been nothing wrong with that. So 49-yard line, you have a timeout, so you can still target the middle of the field as well.
Definitely. CJ saw that Texas Wesleyan switched up and got into a 3-4 defense to try to aid with the pass. But again, Jeremy Carr sliced and diced the defense, and CJ Collins threw a perfect pass.
Ball at the Rams 49. Feel like you want to get at least 15, 20 yards to get into any sort of TH field goal range. Collins is going to throw it underneath. Oh, and just loses his balance.
Brian
Dotson, who just unable to keep his feet underneath him.
Timeout.
Timeout
SAGU.
called by the Lions, otherwise the clock would have run out. There's just 5 seconds left, so now, I mean, I'm just thinking Hail Mary. So, score update, Mid-American Nazarene now leading Evangel, one of the top teams in the nation, 27-19. So Evangel's going to need to pull a comeback there to maintain their top status. And see right there, down 27-19 with 7:07 left in the ball game. So yeah, it looks like if I'm the Lions right now, you got some guys, you got some guys like Dotson and Torres Hill who can go in there and go up high for it, or just hide Northey underneath. Sometimes that's the guy who catches the Hail Mary, is the guy that hides in between the defenders.
Yeah, but I believe we're almost certain we won't see Talong Hamung come out to kick a field goal.
Wind's in his face. Otherwise, I'd give him the 70-yarder. Absolutely. If it just wasn't for that wind, that's the only thing scaring me off of it right now. CJ will lead the offense onto the field. And the Rams are already backing up. They've got the furthest man back is, well, he's still stepping back. He's going to be at the 15-yard line. Got to watch out that you don't want to let that guy get underneath. If anything, Northey gets underneath and starts getting some speed up, gets some blockers. You can't just leave that middle of the field totally wide open for the Lions. So CJ goes back to pass, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to get it out real fast to Free, who's going to fight his way down to the 26-yard line. But that'll give CJ 23 more passing yards. Just pad those stats. So that will finally end the first half. 76 combined points on the board. Your SAGU Lions lead the Texas Wesleyan University Rams 42-34. And it feels like you need to split the halftime into just 2 sides. Offense, this side, drink Gatorade, you're fine. Defense, let's talk.
Yep. Offense has been doing their thing all game. Putting up 42 points in a game is great, but this is a half, just like you were saying. So definitely, I know Coach Jared Hudgens isn't too happy with how this defense is performing right now, giving up that many points right now. So they're definitely going to get back to the drawing boards and figure out what adjustments they need to make.
Yeah, and Coach Prudhomme on the Rams side can't be happy with this defensive effort either. But either way, this is where they are. Both still quite a ball game, too. Still plenty to be decided in this one, so don't go anywhere. We've got halftime festivities coming up right now, and we'll be back with the second half here in about 20 minutes. How many more points can we score here in this one? It feels like the sky's the limit. I was kidding about 80 earlier. Now I may not be kidding as much. So be sure and stay tuned with the crowning of the homecoming king and queen coming up here in just a moment on the SAGU Sports Network.